It was all I could do, all I could think of. The sats didn't help. I couldn't target myself, and this was the one time that shooting Rampage wouldn't help. Even Folly was back with my barding in saddlebags. The room didn't offer any obvious target or weak point. It just let me see the pony flesh wiggling its way out from the gaps and vents of the room. But then I realized something else the spell gave me. Time. Time to think. Time to calm down. If I lost it completely, then I wouldn't be able to do anything. That's it. Panic never helped any pony, the dealer said softly as he trot out in front of me to stand beside Rampage. Now, I know you can't speak, but you can think. So think about this thing. What is it? What does it want? What is its weak point? Everything has at least one. I looked at the gaunt, pale buck with the battered hat. What did the room want? To eat me? Or fuse with me? No. That was what it was doing to me. A terrified pink pony inside me pointed out those wide mouths. It wanted to sing. It wanted to scream right along with it. And I wanted to... Some horrible, treasonous part of my mind wanted to sing right along. But I had other songs too. My Pip-Buck had a number of music files I'd collected from the wasteland. If this thing wanted music, then I'd give it some. I'd give it something else to listen to. Something better than just screams. I selected the song, the most powerful one I knew, and cranked the volume all the way up. I slipped out of sats and hit play. For a moment, I thought the music wouldn't be able to overcome that single horrible screaming note. But then it rose. I felt my insides spasm in response. But the song of dozens of ponies in the little chapel filled that pit. I could almost see Priest as I listened to his majestic music. The scream faltered, with some voices babbling curses or hissing in pain. My Pip-Buck continued to play the swelling music made by Priest, Medley, and all the other ponies with that little knot of hope. As I watched, the flesh seemed to be driven away, the eyes clenching in pain as the pulse fluctuated wildly. Rainbow ichor burst from some of the veins in the room, reacting horribly to the swelling hymn of the two princesses, now long parted from this world. I might not have been able to believe in goddesses anymore, but I could believe in beauty, kindness, and harmony. My legs pulled free from the pits they were stuck in, and I took a few staggering steps. For a moment, I thought I would run for it, leaving this place forever, after seeing if P-21 could seal away or collapse it. And I would have too. Except for one thing. Just one. The room was crying. The dozens of mouths now sang the melody that I'd been playing. Dozens of pained, ashamed ponies turned into something horrid, but still ponies. And I had to give them something. Anything that would help. No peace from violence, but peace from this horror. I slowly stepped towards the wall. "I'm sorry," I murmured, as I looked at those bright and pained eyes. "I don't know how to help you." "You have," Amer said quietly, as the rest hummed the melody. "You have, so much. You reminded us of what we were, what we should be. Is there... Can I change you back?" I asked, thinking it might be impossible. From the way her lips turned into a sad smile, it was. "I'm sorry. I wish I could do something. Give you something." "You can," a buck said softly. "In the storeroom next door, there are chemicals. Benzene, ethanol, and methanol. Hydrogen and oxygen talismans. Acetone. Toluene. Spill them. Ignite them. Don't let us go back to what we were." The lips trembled as it whispered softly. "We're so tired of screaming." "Right," Rampage said with a nod. I'm going to need your shotgun, and it's probably going to be ruined. I passed it to her without hesitation. I've had less than a day, I muttered with a thin smile. Are you going to be okay? I'll burn up, but, she said as she looked at her warped hide. 2 apples, 1 stone. I'll be fine. Believe it or not, this isn't the first time I've been all mutated up. I could believe it, and I couldn't help myself. I hugged her for helping me do this, snapping me out of it and helping these poor ponies. You've got 2 songs. Get clear before then. I don't think they'll stay lucid long, Rampage said softly as she patted my back. Then she turned to the room and said grandly, Okay, every pony, let's hear an encore. And the chorus began to sing, and it hurt. Whatever had made them like this gave them that scream to sing, also made the melody pierce like nails. Even I hurt, but at least I didn't think that my insides were singing. Oh, please, let them not be singing. As I trot towards the door, I spotted something that had been hidden by the mats of metal flesh. It was a strange white crystal that had been inside the cut-out silver bullet. It wasn't very big, about the same size as as a shotgun shell. I peeked into the storage room. Glass bottles, metal storage tanks, lots of warnings about flammables and keeping the door shut at all times. Perfect. I used my magic to turn on the hydrogen and oxygen talismans. They were clearly labeled. There was also leaking drums marked hippocamptic research that had once been filled with the rainbow crud. Just another reason to go there the second I was finished with the Rangers. Rampage grinned and said, Get out of here. It's going to get toasty pretty quick. And with that, she started knocking over some large glass jugs. I paused at the door to the lab, picking up the white crystal and floating it beside me. Goodbye, I said as the room started the next stanza. Rampage was violating every safety rule posted on the walls as she kicked and ripped barrels in the cryogenics lab, taking great glee in the destruction. I had picked my way up the stairs by the 3rd stanza, looking back, but keeping going as I headed for the exit. As I reached it, there was a muffled bang behind me, followed by the sound of a great breath being sucked in and then let out all at once. The pressure wave knocked me over, and a tongue of flame raced up the stairs behind me, spreading out overhead. Fortunately, the fire didn't go much further than that. I lay there for a moment, then slowly sat up, my pip-buck still playing the tune. I turned it off and stared at the flames pouring up the stairs. A black, pony-shaped silhouette appeared amid the flames. Black plates of char and flesh moved with careful steps as she stood at the top of the fire, licking her hides, as the edges and tips of her armor glowed a faint red. Only Rampage could bathe in fire. The blackened flesh sloshed off in new chunks with each step as she walked towards me. She clenched her eyes hard, and when they opened, she looked at me and slowly grinned. She shook herself, scattering charred, greasy flakes like so many playing cards, then coughed a little ball of rolling smoke and spat black phlegm to one side. The raw pink flesh paled to white with her familiar red stripes showing through. Hate fire, she said, looking at her blackened steel hoof blades. Takes forever to clean my armor. I just smiled in amazement. Are they? I asked as I looked behind her. If they're not, then I don't think there's anything we can do for them. I started to remove the hazardous material suit, and she raised a hoof. I'd wash before you take it off. You're sort of dripping there, Blackjack. I felt and smelled like I was trapped in a well-used toilet. But I was bad enough off taint-wise at the moment. I could wait a little longer. So, I said as we walked out of the subway tunnels. Just curious, where the hey did you get that armor? This? She asked with a little smile. This is Hammersmith's finest work. He makes all the quality weapons for the Reapers. Since you left my armor down in the tunnels, I had to go and get it. And you didn't get messed up? I asked as we started up the rusty escalator. If I did, I don't remember it, she replied calmly. Down the elevator, then up the stairs into the factory, right where you dropped it next to Lacuna's Gatling gun, she said with a smile. One weird thing, though. I'm not sure if I can take any more weird. Period. I've exceeded my weirdness quota for the rest of my life. Not that that was very long, anyway. She arched a brow, and I sighed. Okay, lay it on me. Talking walls, flesh-melting magic fields, I can take it. I braced myself for another soul-crushing revelation, or infuriating, vague puzzle. It was all cleaned up. I stopped and looked at her. Like someone had come along and put everything back, fixing up all the stuff you blasted. Then she looked a little more coolly at me. And by the way, Blackjack, I've got to say I'm a little put out that you had some sort of super mega destruction spell and you were going to fire and I wasn't in the way. I gave her a little smile, the most I could manage. I was a little occupied, but I promise, the next time I fire a super taint-ridden weapon of mass destruction, I'll make sure that you're in the line of fire. I sighed as I thought about it, but honestly, my brain just couldn't put it together. After dealing with that choir thing, what I'd felt beating inside my chest, hearing, I wanted to butt my head against the wall till I'd expunged the thoughts from my mind. Maybe I could get triage to... No. I couldn't do that. I'd just have to try and deal with them along with all the other horrors of the hoof.